beauty fam, welcome back to MikiCarrBeauty. I'm MikiCarrBeauty, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare, beauty, and sometimes small luxury goods. And today I finally have my hands on the new Chanel 388 Eclat de Nuit. This beautiful Chanel quad. It has some beautiful deep colors to have a smoky look, and then I want to see today if we can do two looks. One that's more of a wearable look and one that is a bit smoky. And then I also picked up 3 of the Stylo YEUX waterproof pencils that came with this collection. They have the color beige Lumiere on top, GRIS graphite, and then BRUN platine. Beautiful, beautiful colors. So if you're interested in seeing a review and demo of a makeup look that's more simple daytime and then more smoky, then keep watching. But before we continue, remember to subscribe, comment, and like below. Really helps out engagement on my channel. And with that out of the way, let's begin, beauty fam. Let's try out this beautiful Chanel quad and the 4 pencils it came with. We can do more of a daytime look that's a little smoky but not completely smoky. So grabbing my classic crease by Sonia G, I'm just grabbing this shade here. We're just gonna grab this shade down here and we'll see if it actually shows up on me. It's more of a, it's not a flat matte, it's more of like a satiny matte. Grabbing my Sonia G classic crease right here, Sonia G classic crease, and then just putting that into here. And I have a feeling this is going to be pretty much my skin tone or close to it. There is a bit of a grayness to it. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. So on my warm olive complexion, my Chanel foundation shade is BD51, and my closest foundation shades are below in the description box so you can see. So I'm a medium tan, warm olive undertone person, and I really have to build up this color for it to show up, and it's coming off as like kind of a neutral brownish gray. These colors can be hard for someone of my complexion just because they'll either not show up, or if they show up they might look a little muddy or ashy. So far this is okay. It's not anything, it's not really a wow factor on this shade. I would say this shade is probably for someone with a lighter skin tone for it to pop. But some color is laying down. It's not a complete loss, but here we go. You can see it's being built up very subtly. And just so you know, I film in natural lighting. I do have a ring light on because we're in the Seattle grays, the 50 shades of Seattle gray winter. And so it's with the ring light a little bit more blown out of what's actually capturing on camera. So in real life I can see a difference on the color here. Sometimes when there's colors like this, I like to use the colors of the shadows that come, sometimes I like to use the liners that come with the collection. So it came with this collection, so I want to see if I add some of this color, like how that might translate. And so it'll just lay down some of the color here. This is the color BRUN platine. And it just lays down some tack and also some color. It's more of like a neutral grungy palette for me. I was curious about these liners because when they have special edition liners, sometimes they're great and sometimes they're just okay. These colors from Chanel, I also wanted to compare with the new colors from Victoria Beckham that came out in the past year. So I'll be comparing it to these satin cajals to see if they're similar. You know, it's pretty indiscernible whether I put something on. So I can tell you right off the bat with my skin coloring, the BRUN Platine kind of doesn't really show up, which is kind of a bummer, but we're going to continue. So what I'm going to do is take some of this color up here because it's more of like a flat shimmer shade. Taking my soft shader here by Sony G and just going into this shade here and laying down color. Okay, so it's really, really light. Almost, it's kind of like a beigey gold on me. And it's not really, it has a high impact. It's probably the lightest shade in here. It's this one here. And it just lightens up the shadow look. I'm grabbing my Sony G Lotus Series Builder Brush, this one here, and then going into that shimmer shade here. And that's what it looks like on me. I'm just putting it mostly on my mobile lid. Okay, I do like that shade better. It shows up on me like a grungy, almost antique kind of gray green. Okay, and that's all over the lid. And this is the daytime look, and I'll do a smoky look later. I want to go into this deepest shade here using a Sony G Mini Booster. It's this darker shade, and what I'm going to do is just deepen up my outer V and just kind of placing color here. And then just taking a clean squirrel hair brush and just kind of diffusing that darkest color here for my outer V, because it can get really smoky really quickly, but I'm still going to deposit a little more. Okay, and I don't want to diffuse that too much, because if I diffuse it more, the depth of it kind of goes away. Because for me, there's not much depth of this palette, and the only shade that really creates a depth is this black shade. Now, it's not like a flat black. It's got a little bit of a shimmer to it. It almost looks a little, you know, iridescent. Maybe not, but it doesn't look like a flat matte to me. It's grabbing this shade here, which I started with, taking a Sony G Soft Definer, kind of putting that in the lower lash line, taking a flat definer Sony G of the Sky series and using that deep shade and just kind of running it along the lash line to add some more depth. And then running some in the lower lash line here. I can tell already that this palette, you can smoke it out really quickly. Just taking a clean brush. This is a number 2 from Rephr. I'm just using that brush, it's clean, to kind of spread that deep black shade out. Here, what I do want to do is just take my finger, clean finger, and see what it looks like if I use that to kind of amp up that antique shade. Okay, yeah, it definitely, I like that better, because otherwise it just kind of looks really light. I definitely have thoughts about this quad already, but let me finish my eye look with some of these liners. So this one, which is BRUN Platine, this one here, I tried to lay that down. It is too light and it didn't really do much, quite honestly. I'm going to take some of this GRIS graphite and see what it looks like if I kind of run that a little bit, because I have some shimmer particles which look really cool. Yeah, it's very subtle, but I like it. Okay, I'm gonna run that on the upper lid as well. Okay, this one I do like. And then taking this one that barely shows up on my skin, I was on the fence about getting this, but what I wanted to try was I wanted to use this as kind of like more of a highlighter. So in order to do that, I want to grab a mirror, and then I'm actually running this on the inner portion of my eyes. See if it actually shows up. It really is very close to my skin tone. And then I'm actually popping it right here to see if it adds any dimension, and then kind of using it actually as an accent here. Very, very subtle. I don't know if you could see it to the naked eye. So this is the palette that I found really interesting. I was very on the fence about getting it. I think on some people it'll read as like a smoky neutral. On me, because of this tone here and my undertone being warm olive, it almost pulls like a grungy green, which I'm not mad about. And also that's why I'm wearing green, because I wanted to see if it'll look more just like a neutral smoky look or kind of a grungy green, which I would like actually. So let me finish off with some liquid liner, because I always do that, and then I'll come back and show you the final look here. Okay, here we are with the final look. I'm going to turn down the ring light a bit. This is actually more true to my skin coloring. It's still a shade bright, but that has to do with the camera. But this is close enough. This is the finished eye look. I think it's very pretty. I used 3 different liners to see if any of these liners would show up. And on my lips, just so you know, for my base, anyway, so here is the final look I have with this beautiful quad. It's a beautiful quad. So this collection released, I would say, I think earlier this January. It could have been we saw parts of this at the end of 2024, mostly in Europe. And then I ended up getting this collection mostly, actually all through Nordstrom. And I posted the links on my YouTube and Instagram. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube, because when things go live, I post it to my community tab and Instagram stories right away. So make sure to follow me on Instagram. Here's my handle, and then subscribe when you can, so that you get a notification of when a lot of these products that I'm reviewing go live for sale through my affiliate link. I would say this is a beautiful quad. I think it's very similar but not the same to the holiday collection. And this is Chanel quad, which retails $68. I picked up from Nordstrom. And the 3 eyeliners retail $35 each. So definitely a smoky kind of evening ready. And I kind of did a daytime look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I finished that look to be more daytime. I'm going to see if I could make this more smoky. And, you know, when I'm trying to do a smoky look, I probably would have done something different with starting with the black base. All I'm doing is taking that black shade. And there's different ways to make a smoky eye. You can make it smoky at the edge or smoky on the liner here. And that's really great, especially if you have hooded eyelids, to make it smokier close to the lash line. Okay, but for this purposes of this video, I'm gonna make it smoky out here and then buff it out. So you can see already it's way smoky. This is more of a daytime look, so I'm not gonna go past this here. I'm taking some of that black shade and then just really kind of smoking it out under here. You can see like I made a daytime look with this quad, more of a daytime. I mean, I would wear this for a daytime. And then if I were going out for an evening event, you could easily just take more of that black shade and make it smoky. So what I'm gonna do, because I'm not symmetrical now that I made this smoky, I'm going to finish off the other eye side, the other look with this. Here's the finished look with a smoky eye. And the biggest recommendation I would say for smoky eyes is that because you're going in deeper with a smokier look, that you kind of have to go back and just kind of check once in a while, because it's easier to add than take away. And everyone's eye shape is different. So for most people, they're not perfectly symmetrical. So actually this eye is actually smaller or kind of closes more than this eye. This eye over here tends to be bigger. And so I kind of always have to watch like how I put the makeup on because I don't want my eye shape or size to look uneven. And sometimes it can be tricky. And this is just something that you learn when you start to do your makeup. You'll just be more familiar with your eye shape and like how big it looks and all the little tricks and tips you have with your makeup. Okay, so here is the finished look with a smoky eye. And literally I showed you I just had more of a daytime look, and by just using this deepest shade and putting more at the edge and then smoking it in with the outer V and bringing it out, I was able to make that more smoky. This is just a clean brush, and again just bringing out the smokiness of that to make it look more dramatic, and then taking more of this black shade with a pencil brush and just really just bringing it down more here to like make it smoldery down here. Look, and I would say then, oh my gosh, that was not cool. The tip of this just kind of flew off. All right, I am not happy about this. This is like a $35 pencil, and the tip of this Chanel came off. You know, that's disappointing because, you know, I could be using different pencils that are much cheaper that just don't fall off. Okay, so I have my thoughts about that. I just kind of pushed it back. Oh, nope, it crumpled. So just so you know, like these are maybe just this I'm having a trouble with. It's because it's more glittery, but I don't know, something to watch out for. It's this shade here, the GRIS Graphite. It's pretty emollient. Maybe that's why it fell off, but I'm using that more again as like a silver to, again, to emphasize this bottom part. Okay, so I think I'm done because I'm afraid I'm afraid of breaking the tip of this more. Kind of disappointed in that, but we'll continue on. So this is the final smoky look. Really, really pretty. Not everyone's into a smoky look, and I can see why. It's not something, some people are smoky eye look people and they wear this to work. I am not a smoky eye person. Even if I go out, I'm not really into smoky eyes, but that's what this quad is about. Thoughts on this collection. Let me tell you what's on my face. I started with the BEIGE Healthy Winter Glow Primer in light copper. Use my OG Holy Grail Chanel Ultra Le Temps in BD 51. For my under eyes, I always hydrate with the Hydra YEUX, this gel. I just love to use that under my eyes as I'm aging. Used a little bit of color corrector, the Natasha Denona in C4 color corrector, and then one of my favorite concealers. This is the Chanel Le Corrector YEUX Chanel in shade 40. I just wish they would expand their shade range because it's a little bit light, but I made it work. Some loose powder. I'm kind of still wear testing the Huda, but I didn't want to use that today. I powdered down with my Becca Cosmetics loose powder. It's translucent. I love this powder. This was like a Mel Thompson. This was a Mel Thompson recommendation. And then for my face, I did a little bit of cream contouring with, this is the Westman Atelier stick and truffle. For some reason I can't find my cream bronzer for Chanel. I used the Chanel bronzer in Sun Bath Deep, the oversized bronzer. I love this bronzer. It's one of my favorites. And then for blush, I used the new Le Beige Healthy Winter Glow Blush Coral Givre. It's that beautiful coral. I had a review of that. I'll show you. I'll put the link to that review, but I love this coral blush. I just even want to show you more. I'm just going to use that fox hair bouncy brush to show you. This has a little bit of a glow in it. Loving this blush. Actually, I love all the blushes from that Winter Glow collection and release. So I'll put the link to that review up here and below. On my lips, I have the liner Lisa Eldridge Muse, and then a combination of two Chanel lipsticks. I use the color A Demi Monte in 196 on the majority of my lips. This one here, for me, it's kind of a perfect nude, or and then in temporal on top, which kind of neutralizes the look. So I love to combine these two lipsticks together, and it's kind of like my perfect like pinky nude with a little bit of warmth to it. Okay, so let's talk about this quad. I think it's really pretty, and when I actually was hesitant on getting this because I thought it actually looked too similar in vibe to the winter, what is this, the winter eyeshadow palette, which actually I love. There's no mattes in here, and it's very shimmery, But there's something about this formula actually I think is better than this one. And I haven't seen anyone's reviews, and I try to do that. Like when I know I'm going to get a product to review, I try not to watch anyone's reviews because I don't want to be biased. I have quite an extensive Chanel collection, but not as much as some other people. And I just giving you my opinion as someone who is aging, has aging skin, wrinkles, rosacea, but also someone who actually works outside the home in a professional setting and someone with my skin tone. So for me, I actually prefer this holiday quint more than this. And if you were to ask me, well, is it the same? I don't think so. I think the colors are different in that, again, there's like two more like satiny mattes with these two colors. And this is all shimmery, the holiday one. I actually think there's more versatility in the shimmery one. And I'm not sure, and there's other people who like are complete Chanel addicts and like know more about the formula. These are both made in Italy, and I think this is almost creamier. This feels like more of a baked gelée, whereas this, I don't get that kind of baked gelée feeling. Maybe it is, but I just don't feel it. When I was putting on my makeup, I did notice, because of the shade being more, having more tack, right, this one, this is the khaki one, that I can kind of see more of my wrinkles more. And, you know, I don't know if that's really cute. I just have to say, like, on the finished look, I don't see the wrinkles, but when I was doing my makeup, I could see more of my texture, my wrinkles with that shimmer shade. I completely think this is more wrinkle smoothing. So if you're looking for a product, a Chanel one, where you're like, I'm concerned about wrinkles and like my texture of my lids being shown up, I would say this is a better formula than this. And I just also think there's more versatility in this, because maybe there's 5, but I just think I like the formula more of this. I am not a smoky eye person, but I think this is pretty what I came up with. And I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the $60 some that I paid for it. I think it's just an okay palette. I don't know if I'm going to reach for it so much. And the reason why is because this shade here, I really struggle for that to show up on my skin tone. So it's this one here. It borders on being a bit muddy on me. But, you know, it's the Chanel formula where, by this saving grace, it's like a really nice formula, so it doesn't add texture. But I really do have to work to build that up. For someone who's lighter than me, that's going to be a really beautiful crease shade. I wonder if someone who's like deeper than me, if this is going to even look ashy. So I haven't seen anyone's review that's a deeper skin tone than me, but so after I post mine, I really want to see like how this shade shows up in actually even this one, the beige one next to it. So these two I'm kind of worried about if it shows up really well on me. It just kind of disappears in a way. I mean, it's okay. If I wanted something more of a natural look, then I should be okay with it. But if you were to ask me which quad or which eyeshadow quad or product do I like better, I definitely like the holiday one. And I don't know, I mean, you can chime in below if both, I think this is limited edition. I'm not sure about this one. This might be added to the new collection. I would be sad if I didn't get this. I don't know if I'd be sad if I didn't get this. So there, that tells you already where my preferences lie. So I got 2 looks out of this. One's way smoky. One was more like an office kind of ready to wear kind of look. Let's talk about the liners. The liners, for me, I was really excited to try them, and I have to try them more, but my first initial impression of these is that I'm actually disappointed in them. I often love to try the Chanel Special Edition liners because they can be really, really cool. So for example, I have 2 of their limited edition liners, which is so sad they don't make this part of the permanent line because I often reach for them. They had these 2 limited edition colors before when they released a collection. One was this color like Bordeaux. It's called Psyche. It's like this reddish brown. And then I don't even think I have any more of this. This is the purple chocolate 926. And yeah, it's like it's gone. I keep it there for reference in case they ever release something like that again. I was really excited to see what these eyeliners might look like and if they kind of blew Victoria Beckham out of the water. So my initial reaction is that no, they don't. This grease graphite, and the tip broke off already. I don't know if I can show it to you. So here are the bits, I call them tidbits and bits and bobs, or tidbits and hoo-hoos. So yeah, the tip of the grease graphite already broke off, and maybe it has to do with it being, there's like some sparkles in here, but this is a 38, how much product, dollar product, I think 38, and that's how much product you're getting. I extended it completely, and I know most people love the Victoria Beckham Kajal liners. Some people don't like it because it's too oily. I'm just, starting to build more of my collection of the satin Kajals from Victoria Beckham. I do think they're worth it. I think these are around the same price. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The Victoria Beckham satin Kajal liners are $32, and I always wait for a sale before I buy them, whether they're at the Victoria Beckham website or through a third-party retailer. So I often get these satin Kajal liners for even under $32, whereas the liners for Chanel rarely go on sale unless you have like a coupon through like Bloomingdale's or Macy's. Okay, that said, it's not just about the price, it's about the color and the quality. Well, I really wanted to try this light one because I thought maybe I could use that. I'll try it now. I wanted to see if I could use the lighter one, which is the beige Lumiere here, and it's like this really light. I wanted to see if I could use it as a tight line as to pop the look. I don't know if you made a difference, if you can see. It didn't really actually make a difference, so I don't think that's worth it. So if you're my skin tone, it just basically just disappears. So no, I would say no on the beige Lumiere. The other one, BRUN Platine, I try to put that on my eyelids to smoke out a look. So a lot of times with Kajals, you can start smudging the look in order to use that as the base to build upon a look. And I tried to do that, and I just didn't really get any impact. It was just kind of really disappointed. I will continue to try using this color BRUN Platine, but I don't have high hopes for it. So this is the BRUN Platine here. BRUN Platine from Chanel. Really pretty color, 76. And then I grabbed my two other colors. This is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal in bronze. I just want you to see the color and emollient. That's more bronze, it's more green. And then I have the color Sequin Green. So these are two green. These don't really match up to be the same color. There might be one other color I haven't gotten yet, the cinnamon, so I'm going to try that. I just find that these satin Kajals are much more creamier and pigmented. So the top one is Chanel, and so for me you can see it barely shows up, but I'm going to continue to work with it because I bought it. And then I think you saw my reaction when the grease graphite just broke on me. I'm not happy that it broke. I think it's a really pretty color, but again, not happy it broke. I think I have a dupe for that, and that would be the Victoria Beckham sea gray color. Let's do a really quick comparison. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. So I'm unhappy that a first chunk of that liner came up. So I will likely return it because to me, for $38, that's like, that shouldn't be happening. So I'm going to go ahead and return that because I'm unhappy with it, and it shouldn't be breaking at these cosmetic prices that we're paying. So that's just kind of a quick review. Let me know, beauty fam, let me know what you think of this look. Very smoky, again, something outside my comfort zone. Is it very editorial of what they were going for? Yes, this is kind of what they were looking for. It's a bit out of my comfort zone, but I would say, I don't know, if you want to try this grease graphite, go ahead. I think the satin Kajal liners from Victoria Beckham are a better deal because better quality, more pigmented, and you can get them on discount. So that's it with the liners. With this, some people are die-hard Chanel fans, so they'll buy this. It doesn't matter if they have something like this in their collection already. I don't think this is particularly unique. I think if you're someone who's like not sure about Chanel quads, I would say definitely pass on this. You probably have something very similar to this in your collection, and something better than this offering. That, especially if you're my skin tone or deeper, or just like have a big collection, you probably have a dupe of this right here. And right off the bat, I think my closest would be the Chanel Holiday Quad. It's not the same, but similar vibes. I actually think it's a better quad. And then I was thinking, I just have a lot of makeup, so for me it's not anything original. That's it, beauty fam. I hope that was helpful, and remember to subscribe, comment, and like below what you think of this collection, this smoky eye. Is it your look? Is it not? I already let you know I'm not a smoky eye necessarily like big into smoky eye, but I think it's pretty. Is it needed? No. I'm glad I reviewed it because I've been curious about this Chanel Eclat de Nuit eyeshadow quad for a while. So let me know what you think of this final look, and if you're planning on getting this collection as well. And as always, please be very kind with yourself and others, and just be you. Until the next video, beauty fam, take good care of yourself. Bye.